What's up, kings and queens? I'm Rodney R&B Bellard, and welcome to the very first episode of my podcast / show, I Could Be Wrong. First of all, thank you to everybody who liked, shared, and subscribed from the first video. If I can figure it out, I'll put it in the link. If not, then maybe you could just type in my name and hopefully it'll come up in some type of search or anything. But definitely thank you to everybody who showed so much love and supported that very first video. I did like 100 and some views in 2 weeks, so might not be a lot for some people, but for me that is awesome. That's huge. And I got 11 subscribers, so starting up small and we're going to keep on growing and getting bigger. So thank you guys so much. If you like any of the merch that you see right here, from the hats to the t-shirts to the cell phone covers, we got a lot of stuff. We got leggings. I'm trying to get the coffee cups made. We got all types of different stuff. But if you would like any of the stuff, you want to support the show or support me in any way, shape, or form, you can, there it goes, this side. Hit this right here. Type that into your browser and you can look up at our online store. You can buy all of our merchandise. We have other things that are still coming, different designs that'll be coming, but right now we're just starting off small, so that's what we have going. So I debated back and forth what I should do for my very first episode, and I was wrecking my brain probably for the past couple weeks. Even before I even started doing this, I was definitely going back and forth on what I should do on my very first episode. And I decided finally, after lots of just kind of going back and forth and not really knowing if I wanted to do it, I decided to talk about my mental health. Something that's been very personal to me. And the reason why I decided to do it, because I'm sure that most people who are watching this show are usually, obviously, because we're starting off right now, it's going to be people that know me. And because people that know me, a lot of people know me as silly, funny Rodney, right? A lot of people don't really see me as like this serious guy. And I get that, you know. But nonetheless, when I see a lot of things that are going on and, you know, I hear about some of the things that some of my friends are going through. And even when I talk to some of my friends and I hear some of the things that they're going through, you know, I've been a real big advocate myself about seeking therapy and getting help and talking to somebody, because I know how much it has helped me over the last 3 years by going to see a therapist and talking to somebody, in the way that it's really changed me and helped me open up and realize a lot of very deep things about myself, things that I had honestly buried, things that I didn't want to think about. And therapy is just, to me, it's a really good way that if you feel like you're not yourself, or maybe if you don't even notice that you're not yourself, maybe there's just certain things about you that you just really want to change, or maybe you're just frustrated and you want somebody to talk to. It's a great thing to do, I personally believe, because it really does help you just to care more, to become more understanding, and to also just really help you get a lot of that shit that we have on our chest every single day, especially the older that you get. And you start to realize how particular things throughout your life have affected you and made you who you are right now. So I want to take a little time to talk about that for the very first episode. So hope you guys enjoy this. Hope you'll sit there and watch the whole video. If not, you know, just click on it, say fuck it, continue with your day, and God bless whoever does and who doesn't. But anyway, so my journey, I would say, literally, I mean, I would probably say it started actually like even when I was a kid, dealing with a lot of stuff and not really knowing how to deal with it. But I'll say, just to kind of make it like in a short form, things really started to about maybe 3 years ago. I had cheated on my girlfriend, who was not my wife. And not glorifying any of this shit or anything, because it's nothing too glorified, but it's something I had done before, right? And the problem was, when I had done this with other women, I had always had these little different excuses in my head why it was right? You know what I'm saying? And regardless of how somebody treats you, regardless of how you might feel about certain things that a particular person is doing, I personally feel that when you get to the point where you're cheating, you have to start asking yourself, is this really where I want to be at for me to cause this? Because if I continue to do this, then it shows that maybe this is not where I want to be, and I'm continuously making up excuses. Now, what I had to do was find out the reasonings for it, right? Why I was doing this in every relationship that I was having, you know, like what happened to me, what caused me to change, because I wasn't always this guy, you know. This time it was really different. Like seeing her face at that time and like how like hurt she was, I never forget it. Like her in that kitchen, the way she looked at me, like that shit just like, man, you have those moments like where somebody looks at you and like you could tell like I really fucked up this time. Like that's how it felt. You know what I'm saying? And then even like telling my kids about it and seeing their faces, like, like the disappointment in me, that really fucking hurted. And then like I even talked to my mom about it. And like I never have talked to my mom about relationship stuff, especially like when it was like stuff like me making mistakes. I never talked to my mom about stuff like that. And I did. And, doing that, excuse me, I knew that it was something that was different. So I remember like at the time, I was actually staying at my job. And when I say staying at my job, I mean like I was sleeping at my job. Because at the time I didn't have nowhere to go. And these are also like a lot of different stories, but I'll try not to drag it on or get into like too many other things, but just kind of give you guys an idea of where I was at mentally that finally caused me to want to change. So when I finally was able to get me a hotel room, and so I'm staying at this hotel, and it was like, it was beyond shitty. Like, I mean, I can't even begin to explain to you guys. Like, it was bed bugs. There was like a rat dead in the fucking parking lot. I remember when I was trying to like walk to go get something to eat, I seen that. It was like really sketchy people that would be standing outside. Like it was a really bad situation, and I remember like being there, and thank God I only had to be there for 2 weeks, and then I was able to go to a different hotel. But when I was there, I remember just like having this moment where it's like I'm looking at the room, I'm hearing the stuff around me, you know what I'm saying? And it's like it's one of those moments, and this is like so just like it's just so fucking eye opening. Where it's like I thought to myself like, this is a hotel where people die at, and when I say that, it's like what I meant was this is one of those hotels where it's like you get a call or you hear, you be like, oh, like what happened to Rodney? And like, oh, I heard Rodney, like he died in this little shitty ass hotel. And it's like, it was something about that like just scared the shit out of me. Like, I don't want, my mom and my sisters and my brothers and my family and my kids to get this phone call about where I was found at. And it's like, and it's in this shitty hotel. And it was like, I remember like, it was like for the first time, like honestly, like I really had a hard time, like looking at myself in the mirror, because like I just really realized like how many times like I just had fucked up, like just throughout my life in general, and like I said, it wasn't just her, it was everything, right? You know what I'm saying? It was like fuck, like this again, like dude, like you, like what's going on with you? And it's like what happened? And I didn't really know what to do. So it was this guy at my job, I forgot what they're called, but his name is Rod. Ironically. And I remember I'm at work one day and I'm walking around and I'm like just kind of like just like in a daze, and he's got his number, and it's like one of those help things at your job, like so like if you're going through something, like that person that helps you like I guess like figure things out. I'm not quite sure what they're called, I forgot, but so I remember I called his number that night and I asked him if I could come and talk to him the next day. He didn't answer the phone, but the next morning he ends up calling me and said, hey, come and talk to me. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I was crying on the voicemail. So I talked to him the next day, and he told me to come down to his office when I was free. So when I got off of work, I went down to his office. Me and him were sitting there talking, and literally the whole time I'm talking to him, like I'm just like bawling my eyes out. He starts telling me like how he kind of went through things similar, and he was like, like it's gonna be okay. You just got to get the help that you need. And so he hooks me up with this lady. I meet her at the Union Hall a couple of days later across the street. I do not remember her name. I wish I could, because she was such a great person and she helped me out so many ways. But she hooked me up with this therapist. So my first therapist, his name was Mel. Mel was hilarious. He was an older Jewish dude, and it was like he was so blunt. it was like he was what I needed at that time. It was no gloves, no gentleness. He just kept it honest with me. He did not give a fuck about my feelings. He told me what I needed to hear about myself. And he literally was, I would say, like the beginning of my transition, because he broke me down. He made me look at myself and realize that at the end of the day, regardless of my past, right? Regardless of my logic on why I think I would handle things the way I would, he really helped me realize none of that shit matters. Because at the end of the day, you're still choosing to make these decisions, you know, and that you have to take responsibility for it. And also what he taught me too was that I focused too much on trying to make other people happy and not focusing on my own happiness, right? Not focusing on my own health, and realizing then that, like he told me, Rodney, if you're not here and if you're not happy, how the hell are you going to help somebody else? You know, I never thought about it like that. You know, I guess like it never just came across my mind, but it was at that moment, like, you know, I had that realization, like, damn, I'm like, and so that was kind of the beginning. So I saw him for probably about like, was it maybe like 6 months? Yeah, about like 6 months, I think I might have saw him. It might not even been that long. But, you know, Mel he was getting older. And because he was getting older, it was, you know, it was times too, like where it's like I would talk to him and I felt like he wouldn't remember things that we talked about the week before. And I get, like, as a therapist, like, you see a lot of different people, right? So you're not going to remember every single person and all their fucking stories because you've heard every story that there is. But you know, when you're going to see somebody, like, you want somebody that's going to remember. I don't know what the fuck this was. You want somebody that's gonna that you feel like that really cares about you, right? And so listening is a big part of showing somebody that you care, you know, because you're understanding like what they're actually saying. So I ended up finding, I don't remember how I found this other guy, and I'm trying to think. At this time, me and my girlfriend, who's my wife now, Amber, for anybody that doesn't know, but I'm pretty sure most of you guys right now that are watching it know her, because we're just getting started. But years, you know, when this whole thing blows up, for anybody that doesn't know, my wife's name is Amber. I don't remember if we were together or not by then, but I went and we ended up finding me a different therapist. And that's how I met Rob. And Rob has been the biggest blessing, well, one of the biggest blessings, I should say, to my life, with just the way he helped me realize so much more about myself. Like, whereas with Mel was more aggressive and more like, this is why you are, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to change, stop that crying bullshit. You know, Rob has been different. Rob has been the type of person where he's, I say, a little bit more nurturing. You know, he's talked to me more about becoming a man. You know what I'm saying? Being 37 years old and growing up without a father, you know, I know a lot of you guys probably don't know, but my dad passed away when I was 3. And, you know, it's been difficult. It definitely has. You know, I don't think I really acknowledged that a lot throughout my life. I kind of ignored it. You know, it was just like, oh, you know, it's just what it is. You know, because even like I had a lot of friends that didn't have dads, or didn't have dads that were necessarily good. But the difference is with my situation and like my friends, it was like, I remember I was arguing with one of my friends one time because they were complaining about the dad that they had. And I said, well, at least with you, you'll be able to one day maybe talk to your father. You might be able to find out things that you didn't know. Because of how my dad passed away, it's always been a lot of questions that I'll never have answers to. But also, try not to get too emotional because this shit fucking sucks. But also, you know, it's just, it's one of those things like I'll never be able to ask my dad certain things, right? Like why, or it's just something I've had to grow to deal with. And you know, and it's been hard, but I also tell myself that I thank God that I have such a strong mom, and that I've been blessed enough to have other strong gentlemen to kind of model myself after. But there's still a lot of key things that you miss growing up, not having, you know, that father figure around, regardless of what type of father that it is. You know what I'm saying? sometimes you learn things. Like for myself personally, I had to kind of piece together what I consider to be who I was at one point from just like stuff I seen on TV, guys I hung around, guys I knew. I've learned different stuff from guys of all different ages, from like my older friends to like even like my younger friends, you know what I'm saying, as far as like who I was going to be and who I thought I should be as a man. But I've never really had like that older male figure to sit down and like talk to and have particular conversations, you know what I'm saying? Even as far as like being a husband, like all of these things that I've learned is like stuff that I've gone from just like asking people different questions. So, not Mel, I'm sorry. You know, Rob has been that person. I mean, my Uncle Pete, let me not say nobody, because my Uncle Pete definitely has been somebody that was there for me a lot, teaching me just, you know, like how to be like working hard and stuff like that. But my Uncle Pete also had grandkids that he had to take care of. And then like when I got older, you know, when you kind of like stray away from people and kind of do your own thing. So with Rob has helped me realize why I made decisions that I did. Not only that, but he helped me realize a lot of different things about myself. Like I'll give you guys a few examples, and hopefully if there is anybody going through these things, you know, you will seek out some type of help. Like, so for everybody who knows me, I'm like always the silly guy, I'm always the funny guy, I make jokes, you know what I'm saying? Like, but through a lot of that, there was quite a few bouts of depression that I don't think, you know, and this, let me say this first and foremost when I tell you guys all this stuff. This is not a feel bad for Rodney video. This isn't a, oh, woe is fucking me or nothing like that. No, this video is strictly for the simple fact that I'm hoping that when people can hear what I've gone through during these times where nobody knew about it, maybe it will be something that it will help all of us to be like, okay, let me call and check on this person a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know, it'll be something like where if you're the person that's going through it, you'll be like, you know what, damn, like maybe I do need to go get some help. Maybe I do need to talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? In no way, shape, or form, like I said, this video, like I don't want everybody to put down in the comments, oh, you know, Rodney, so glad you made it through the fire or some shit like that. That's not what this is for at all. This is just me wanting to give people something more than what they're expecting. This is me wanting to really just help people, especially during a time with this COVID thing, like where we're all a lot of times forced to kind of be away from people. And a lot of times we're not really taking this advantage to check up on people, including myself. You know, I'm still learning a lot of things about myself and things I need to change, like the way I treat my friends and my family and stuff like that. It's hard, but not to digress from the point that I'm trying to make. So some of the things I learned about myself is like how I was going through depression and not realizing it. There were times like where I would feel by myself and I would be crying randomly, or like you get this like fog in your mind, like where it's like you're going through your day and you're smiling, right? And you're making jokes and you're laughing, but at the same time, like you feel like nobody's there for you. And I had those moments of just like fucking darkness, dude. Like it was like, and it's like dead ass, like when I say darkness, I mean like it doesn't matter how great your life is. You know, I love my kids to death. I'm so grateful to have them in my life. But when you feel like you are fucking worthless, when you feel like you have nobody, that's the hardest shit to deal with. And it's like we look at people that commit suicide as being selfish. My father committed suicide and it hurt me a lot growing up trying to figure out why he did that. Therapy gave me the understanding to get that, and it gave me the understanding of realizing that at the time my father was going through something. And though it sucked, and though it has sucked, you know, dealing with that, I've been able to be more understanding and getting why he did that. And so that's why what I'm hoping is that when other people are going through stuff, that they will seek out the help that they need, and that we can stop judging people when they go through stuff like that. Because I remember somebody that I knew, I was like, I'm not going to say who it is because I think if other people see this, they would know what I was talking about. But somebody that I knew had committed suicide. And I remember we were all standing outside and we was talking and stuff, and I heard somebody say like, yo, that's selfish as fuck that he did that, blah, blah, blah. And that's always bothered me because like I think about my dad and him doing that. And it's like, I didn't necessarily understand at the time why he did it. You know what I'm saying? And though I still don't necessarily know, I do know that we all are going through stuff at times. And, as a man, we feel like we're not allowed to be open. We're not allowed to be emotional. We're not allowed to talk about our feelings. So we bury that shit. You know what I'm saying? And like sometimes even talking to your friends, sometimes that doesn't even really help out a lot, really talking to your friends. And so as a man, I think because we have to bury all that shit in, you don't really know what somebody's going through. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for real. Like no bullshit. Like, it's hard being a fucking man out here. I'm not saying that it's not hard being a woman. So ladies, please do not think that that's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it is really hard being a fucking man, father, husband, worker, especially the older that you get, because it's so many different things every day. Trying to keep your girl happy, trying to make sure your kids got everything that they need and keeping them happy, trying to work and do all these different things. Like, it's fucking hard, especially like when you're doing like stuff like me right now. Like, I'm trying to live out my dream while still make sure everybody else is good. It's super difficult, but it's something that, we deal with on a day-to-day basis as men, and I'm sure women do too. So please do not take this out of context or nothing like that. Excuse me. Damn, that game. But it really is hard. So I had to like really, learn about like my own depression and like what was causing me those things and like why I never really acknowledged it. And like, I'm just thinking like, oh, I'm just having a bad day, but I'm not realizing that this shit is going on days after days after days. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of like, oh, it's just it's because of this, because it's like, no, like, dude, you're fucking depressed. You know what I'm saying? And then also realizing like I deal with, what is that? It's like, so I deal with the fact of like, it's hard for me to really get close to people in the sense of like abandonment issues. That's what he told me. I have abandonment issues, which kind of go back to stuff with my dad as well. So it's hard for me to really get like close with people. Like, so like, even like with my friends, like, I've always had a tendency, like when people text me or call me, like sometimes I'll take a while before I get back to them. So I've never, it's hard for me to put everything into any relationship sometimes, because I always feel like, how long are you going to be around before you're going to leave? I'm not going to lie, it's a shitty way to live. It really is. And I've been working a lot towards changing that over these past few years and trying to be a better friend, because at the end of the day, like, I don't blame my friends if they don't, like a lot of times, like sometimes my friends will have stuff and like people forget to call me, right? Now I don't blame anybody for that, because at the end of the day, I've made it that way because of things that I've done, right? Because it takes two people to nurture a relationship, regardless of the type of relationship that it is. You have to put in the work in order to get that same thing back. And I know I don't always do that. I'm trying to work on that. I've been trying to work on that, especially like with my younger sister. Me and her had a conversation where we talked about that, and she was saying that, something that I needed to hear. Like, she was tired of the fact that whenever I got into a relationship, she would always have to end up talking to the girl to see how I was doing, because I would go so long without talking to her. So I try now to do my best to always make sure that I'm either contacting her, or if not even that, like, if there is a moment, like say like I don't respond for a couple hours, like or even a day, I'll make sure I let her know why I didn't respond, because like I don't like that part of me, and it's hard. It really is hard, because you programmed yourself for so long that this is how I want to be, this is who I am, but you don't realize like how unhealthy it is for not only yourself but even like my kids. And how my actions is affecting them as they get older. It was one of the reasons I was like, and then on the flip side of that, which is ironic as shit, I wanted everybody to like me, right? I grew up with very low self-esteem because I was the dark-skinned kid hanging around a whole bunch of light-skinned guys. I got heavy set at one point. I remember getting made fun of all the time. I was like, being called like fat and ugly and ashy, like, these things like where it's like, honestly, like I've made jokes about them, but then I've realized like how much it's affected me when I got older. Like I'm getting better now. Like normally, like honestly, and this is no joke, like a couple years ago, like how I look right now, like with the whole Django Unchained beard and like my hair is kind of like out there right now. I don't take off my headphones and all that shit, so that's why, y'all get it. I would have never recorded a video like this because I wouldn't want nobody to see me like this, because that's how much my appearance really affected me. Like it wasn't just something that I was like, fuck it. It's like I didn't want nobody to see me looking a certain way, you know what I'm saying? Which is not a bad thing, right? Obviously you want to make sure that you look good. Like I'm not on here like with, the wrinkled shirt or nothing like that, but I definitely didn't have the confidence that I do, or I've been trying to get now. Like, so it was, dealing with things like that. Also like holding stuff in. I've learned to try to be more open, especially with communication. I was, and even sometimes now, I'm not gonna hold y'all up. Let's keep it all the way a buck. I'm a yeller, you know what I'm saying? If I get pissed, sometimes because I held too much shit in, by the time we start to have a conversation, it's fucking full blown go. But I've been doing better at learning to listen. I had to realize I'm not always right, because I have a tendency to do that sometimes, where I'll be talking like I'm right. I've had to learn how to talk to people better, because sometimes I can be a little condescending asshole. I don't realize I'm doing it, right? I think that I'm just talking just to talk, but sometimes you can come off as sounding really fucked up towards people, even if you don't mean to, you know what I'm saying? So like I've tried to learn different ways to talk to people better, so that I'm not coming off like that, you know what I'm saying? Better ways of dealing with my kids and dealing with my wife and dealing with my friends and my family, and honestly even dealing with myself. That was definitely the hardest part, was realizing those things about yourself that you have long buried. Excuse me. Those things that have affected you throughout your whole life that maybe you didn't even know affected you. Trying to think. Meditation is something that Rob has taught me, helped me out a lot. For anybody that doesn't know, it helps you just kind of clear your mind of things. It's not easy to do. Well, it is easy to do, but I say it's hard trying to figure out what's the best way for you to do it, right? So for me, a lot of times what I'll do is like I'll do it in the shower. I listen to stuff when I go to sleep, like different type of affirmations, things like that. Different things that will keep me motivated and focused on whatever my goal is at that point. Another thing I learned about myself, I am a procrastinator. I'm definitely trying to work on that. That has not been something easy, because I've done that my whole fucking life. And when I say procrastinate, I'm talking like waiting till the last day. I said nigga, like all y'all be like, but I'm talking about like when I say waiting till the last minute, I'm talking like for real. Like if this is due on Monday, well, what time is it due on Monday? Is it due at 4? Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna do it at 3 o'clock. That's the type of procrastinating I'm talking about, So I've definitely been working on that, because it's like, on top of that, I'm a dreamer, I've got all these visions and goals and stuff, but it's like when you're a procrastinator with a whole bunch of shit, those two things don't often mix, because then you become the guy that's always talking about doing stuff but never actually comes through with it. And I've done that a lot, 100%, 2000%. Let me see what else. I had a problem with lying a lot. I don't know why I said like I didn't remember that. I just went on a rant. Yeah, that got really bad, and it was to a lot of people, man. And the thing about lying is this, right? We all lie, plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who the fuck you are. You can say I'm real as hell. Shut up. You fucking lie. You're lying now because you're telling yourself that. But it's a difference between lying and when you get to the point where you don't even realize you're doing it to an extent, right? Because you've lied to yourself so much, and that's the dangerous part. It's one thing to lie to everybody, but it's another when you start lying to yourself, because you start to believe some of the bullshit that you're telling yourself. So when your actions start becoming that of the lie, you don't even realize that you're fucking doing it. What happens, the worst thing, and I tell all my kids this too, the worst thing is that you never want to become the person that nobody believes, right? When you become the person that people think is full of shit or people think is just a fucking liar, it's not somebody you want to be around because you never know when they're telling you the truth. You can't trust them, right? I heard this good saying that trust is lost in buckets but earned back with drips, which is to say that when you fuck up somebody's trust, it's like pouring out a bucket of water and then trying to fill that bucket back up with trust. It's like a drop of water every time, so it's like every single action. To get my trust back with my wife, when I say I had to at times fucking embarrass myself just so she would know that I wasn't doing something or that this wasn't going on, and I had to really swallow my pride, and at no point could I sit back and say, well, damn, I ain't did enough yet. Why is you still bitching? Why are you still tripping? Blah, blah, blah. Like, no, because I had to understand that I hurt her, It was, and it has been hard. I mean, and I still do stuff to this day, you know what I'm saying? Because I understand, like, she has every right to feel the way that she does because I know how I would feel. And I know how I felt before because, I mean, to keep it all the way above with y'all shit, I mean, I've been cheated on, I've been lied to, I've had all types of shit happen to me in relationships because, we sometimes, I think, I don't want to get on into that. The relationship shit will be on another episode, but I got my own little views on that. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to, especially like when we're talking about like men and women and cheating and stuff like that, like I have different views that I've shared with some people. Some people might like it, some people might not. I really don't give a fuck. This show ain't gonna be for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But that was also something else that I learned about myself. Like I needed to understand what happened to me. See, and that was from like the low self-esteem, right? Because I didn't like who Rodney was, which is actually one of the first questions that Mel asked me when I started going to therapy. He said, do you like who you are? And I broke down crying and I said, no, I don't. I didn't know why I didn't like myself, though. I didn't know why I didn't like who the fuck I was. And I realized it was because at 30-some years old, I had not accomplished shit. I was homeless. I've not had food. I've slept at my job. I've stolen food from my job. I've slept in my car. I've been like super broke. It was just a lot of fucking like rough fucking times. And even when you go through those things, right, like people ask you like, why you ain't call me, and it's like, because you don't feel like you can call anybody. At 30-something years of age and as a grown man, you feel like, who the fuck am I going to call? Who's going to feel bad for me, right? Who's going to sit there and be like, yo, hey, come stay here. I got you. Don't worry about rent or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like nobody, you know what I'm saying? And it's understandable, like, because we're all grown, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't expect people to do those things for me, And plus, honestly, I'm the type of person, like, I don't like feeling like I owe some fucking body. And I don't think people do it on purposely, but sometimes people can make you feel like you owe them. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of different reasons. So, because I'm sure some people that are watching this are probably going to be thinking like, damn, why you didn't even call me? And it's like, well, this is why I didn't call anybody, right? Because I didn't feel like I had nobody to call. I didn't feel like there was anybody there that I felt like would even really understand what I was going through. And then it's like just an embarrassment. It's like I didn't know where to fucking start to get my life back on track. And that was the hardest part. So creating this person byline and doing the things that I was doing, it was for a temporary moment making me feel better about myself. But it's like they say, when you're putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole, it's going to work for a minute, but eventually that bitch going to start bleeding again. So I had to actually decide to really change myself. And, doing therapy has helped me grow. I didn't have a license at one point. I didn't have a license for almost 10 years, right? As much as I regret the things that have happened between me and my wife, at the time girlfriend, as compared to now, if you guys really knew me 3 years ago, as compared to where I am now, on a mental, financial, emotional, spiritual level, it's like fucking night and day. It took me a lot of money and time, but I got my license back, got me a car, getting my credit up. I'm a happier person now, and it's like a genuine happiness, right? It's not like before where it was a lot of pretend, right? I was masking my tears with my smiles, where people would think that I was like happy all the time because I'm funny fucking Rodney, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, and I wasn't, like I was fucking down, dude. And it was like, I've learned too, like people tend to think that when you're the funny person or when you're the person that's talking to everybody, like I listen to everybody talks to me. I hear everybody's problems and their issues, but you start to feel like nobody's listening to you. You start to feel like you're not allowed to be that because you have to be the funny guy, right? I got to be the joke nigga all the damn time. Sometimes I want to be the joke nigga. Sometimes I'm not in the mood for fucking jokes. Sometimes I'm not in the mood for laughing. Sometimes I want somebody just to be like, yo, my nigga, what's good? Like, you all right? And just really listen. You know what I'm saying? And that's what therapy's helped me do. Rob has been that person that sits there and he just fucking listens to me. And there's times I bullshit y'all not for almost an hour. I will just rant to that man about every single thing that's on my mind and that's going on in my life. And sometimes afterwards, you just get that deep breath and you're just like, all right, I'm good. I'm ready. One of the main reasons why I did start doing this show because I'm not fulfilled at my job. I make good money at my job, and I'm blessed to have it because it's helped me do so much for my kids and for my family and help, we're building something right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, when you start to really get to that point in your life where you're like, I'm not just doing this just to do this. Like, I'm really trying to build generational wealth for my kids and my grandkids. Like, that's where me and my wife are at. It ain't even just about us no more. Like, we're trying to really build something that we can pass on for generation after generation to give them a better start than what me and her had, so that's where we're at with it right now. But in closing, I'm sure I skimmed over quite a few things, but I didn't want to make this too long because everybody's got their day, and I understand that people, just even taking the opportunity to even watch this video, I truly appreciate if you watch it all the way to right now. But what I want to say is to anybody that is going through something, please, 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 I am telling you, seek out some type of help. It might take time finding the right person. Like, I don't believe you're always going to find the right person right off the bat. Like, I do believe it's going to take time. But when you find that right person that helps you grow, right? Because the thing about therapy is about, number one, being completely honest. It's about really wanting to change. It's about acknowledging who you were and who you want to be. And if you're willing to do the work, therapy is not something that you just do when you're there. Therapy is something that you do on a regular basis. You get the lessons there, but then it's almost like going to school with anything, right? I'm sorry, I'm fucking gassy as shit. Damn. But no, it's just like with anything, right? Like, in order to get better with something, you have to work on it. And that's the same thing with therapy. Like, it's not something that you just do a couple times and be like, oh, I don't really feel better. So, like, no, it's like you really have to go and let that person to get to time to get to know you, and for you to be able to really want to break yourself down in order to build yourself back up. Like, who Rodney was 3.5 years ago as compared to who Rodney is now. Honestly, and I'm not even saying 3.5 years ago, even before that. Like, realistically, it's like legitimately when I tell you guys night and day, whether y'all knew it or not, because of the fact that I was half the time still smiling and not seeming like nothing was bothering me, it is a completely different fucking person, and I feel it. You know what I'm saying? I feel that heaviness is going off of me, that darkness is going off of me. But it's still continual work, right? Like, we're not always going to have great days. You know what I'm saying? There's days I'm going to be fucking irritated, or I'm going to have a bad day, whether it's something at work or at home or whatever it could be. That's just a part of life. But I found better ways to deal with it. So if you are going through something, I pray that you go out and you get the help, or that you talk to somebody. This even comes from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to do better at taking care of my relationships, and we all do. Call and check up on somebody or see how somebody's doing. Like, don't think because a person's smiling and laughing every day that they not going home and on some real shit or going through something. That's why, like, you see how many times that somebody committed suicide and people are like, oh, I can't believe they did that, blah, blah, blah. They seem like, yeah, because that's what it be. It really don't be something that, you know what I'm saying, you're just like, oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna, like, no, like, that should be, it be there. You know what I'm saying? And it's not an easy thing to deal with. So I'm hoping that we will take time to really start calling people, because you never know what somebody is doing. And even self-medicating, that's also something else that people a lot of times do, and we don't realize it. Somebody is drinking a lot, smoking a lot, maybe doing a little bit extra. You never fucking know, honestly. But they're doing different things to try to cover up what they're going through. Oh, and also, I also believe to an extent, sex sometimes can be self-medicating, in the sense of you're trying to fill a void, right? Because that's what self-medicating is, pretty much. Whether it's drugs or sex or alcohol, you're trying to fill a void within yourself. And sometimes you go about doing it in dangerous means, because you're just trying to feel better. You have a pain or an emptiness and you don't know what to fucking do. So these are the things that you utilize in order to try to make those things feel better. At the end of the day, they don't help. They're usually, if not always, more dangerous than they are helpful in the long run. That's where therapy comes in. To me, that's where meditation comes in. If anybody does want to talk to me about anything personal, if you don't have my number or something, just, leave me a comment down below, or you can hit my email address, my personal email address, rodney.bellard@gmail.com. And, if I can help anybody, I will. You know what I'm saying? Because I truly believe that therapy has been such a blessing to me, been such a blessing to my family. And it still is a blessing. Like, I'm still working. I'm still going. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even with this whole show that I'm doing now, like, Rob has been super supportive and has been that person that I need to talk to keep me motivated, on top of everybody else. He's just that outside voice. And sometimes that's what you need. It's not like you can't talk to your friends or your family or nothing like that. It's just sometimes you need somebody who doesn't know you, who's not going to judge you, who is just going to listen and give their take on things to help you kind of keep going and process and deal with things. So, to everybody who has watched this whole video, thank you guys so much. I truly do appreciate every last one of you. I'm trying to figure out some sweet intro or some sweet outro to go with this, because I've watched a shit ton of YouTube videos and most people are like, hey, what's going on, everybody? And they do like all this extra shit, and it's like, nope, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just too old for that. I feel like I would look fucking stupid, because a lot of them look fucking stupid, and I don't have any of those things yet. But I'm trying to get a better outro. We got more episodes coming. I don't know necessarily what we're going to talk about yet. I've had a lot of people ask me, like, am I going to talk about politics? Kind of sketchy. Religion, kind of sketchy. But I do plan on talking about those things, because I think that it's important for us to talk about those things. You can't be scared and shy away from different things. And at the end of the day, the show is called I Could Be Wrong for that exact point, that I can give my fucking opinion. Anybody who sits here at the table of truth, they can give their opinion. And at the end of the day, it's their fucking opinion. If you don't agree with it, if you don't like it, that's fine. Let's talk about it. Maybe there's some things that I don't know. So that's why I said I could be wrong. Actually, something I learned from therapy, because I was never I could be wrong person. I was always I'm fucking right. And then therapy has helped me realize that, a lot of times I am wrong. There's a lot of times that I don't necessarily know everything that I'm talking about. And there's always leaving that room for growth, right? And that's what the whole point of this show is. I could be wrong is something that you can use as a room for growth in any situation or things that you might be going through your life. So we have a couple guests that will be coming up soon. I have to keep on hitting up people because everybody's busy, and plus the show ain't huge yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like niggas like, I mean, you want me to come over and talk? Oh, okay, on camera? Like, just nothing? But then once the show gets to where it's going to get, where it's like huge, and everybody's like, hey man, you want me on the show? I got any day you want off. If can I get on the show, please? I want to promote my new line of socks or some shit. But y'all know how people are, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I get that too, you know what I'm saying? When something starting off, who really supports? I'll be honest, there's been niggas that done handed me CDs where I'm just like, all right, cool, bro, don't listen to it. But then as soon as they blow up, like, damn, nigga, you heard that new so-and-so song? Yo, that shit was fire, cuz. Been holding them down, which is always funny, like when you get to like a certain level of success, like, yo, been listening to you since day one. No, you wasn't. Shut up, stop lying, nigga. But anyway, I have went on to another tangent. We'll talk about all the other stuff another time. But thank you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Please, if you want to, hit the like, share this, subscribe to the channel, or even, like I said, there we go. I'm getting better. Only second episode in, and I'm figuring out where to point at. Next time I'll have it even better. But anyway, yeah, I don't know how to put it in the description yet where you can click the link, but I'm learning stuff. I'm still getting my YouTube on. You know, a nigga old and I got a family and shit. So I'm still learning stuff. But if you guys want to, you know what I'm saying, support, hit type this into your browser or your phone or whatever. Look at all the products that we have on there. Hopefully you guys will buy something. We got stuff from hoodies to even fucking stupid shit like stickers. You know, we got the big cloth face masks that cover your throat and everything. You feel me? So just once again, like I said, thank all you guys for everything. Even if you don't watch the video, even if you want to put down in the bottom, fuck Rodney, you ain't shit, nigga, you stole me an apology. And I just might, you know, honestly, some people might look at this and I just might owe some people apology, and that's fine. But thank you guys once again. I love all of you guys. I truly, truly appreciate all you guys who have showed so much love and continue to show so much love. And we are going to continue to take this and blow this shit the fuck up. So I appreciate you guys and I love you guys. Yes, sir.